So I've been watching The Owl House and I just got to season 2, episode 8, Knock Knock Knockin' on Hootie's Door. That sure is a mouthful of a title. This episode was one of my favorite episodes in all of television. This was honestly like a nearly perfect episode. I don't necessarily think perfection is possible, but it is an incredible watch. If you haven't watched The Owl House, there will be spoilers, so just a forewarning. I wrote down some notes while watching this episode a second time, and I haven't watched any of the episodes afterwards because this one just really struck with me. And I wanted to kind of just make something as soon as I felt those emotions. I was planning on watching a bunch of episodes, but ended up only watching this one because it struck so hard with me that I felt like I had to bask in the moment of how wonderful of an episode it was. This episode was a great conclusion of a wonderful build-up. It was taking a lot of ongoing stories throughout the show, and it really provided a lot of great information. Character development has always been my favorite thing to watch in shows, and to see an episode like this, which entirely focuses on character development, is an absolute thing of beauty. I sensed a lot of symbolism in each of the 3 stories representing the past, present, and future. The past being Ida's story, the present being Luz's, and the future being King's. And we got a lot of great character development on Hootie's end, since he was the character that tied all these stories together. If anything, I felt incredibly spoiled while watching this episode, and I felt it was really charming to see Hootie seemingly screwing up, but then making things better. I know that it might be a bit of a trope, but if anything, I thought it was executed very well. We start off with King's development, and this one didn't really strike me as much as the other 2. I think that's because his storyline is a lot more up in the air. King is basically worrying about his future, wondering who he is, and he feels alone and abandoned by his father. While Hootie doesn't directly help King, the emotional frustration that King feels is powerful enough to grant him magic that he was not able to perform until now. In one of the previous episodes where it was more dedicated to this storyline, I felt emotionally stronger about this. If anything, this acts like an epilogue to the episode where King starts to question his origins. Ida's story is a very important one because we get to learn a lot more about her family and her romantic past. Those are some really cool elements showing how the curse had affected her personal relationships for the negative, but she realizes that she needs to embrace the curse in order to tame it. I don't know if it's necessarily a metaphor for other troubling things people may have in their lives, but I could certainly see that. Luz's story is the whole reason why I'm recording this, because she had this ongoing narrative of will she, won't she, confess to Amity, and Amity felt the same way towards her. If anything, her feelings towards Luz were revealed first, but this is told from Luz's perspective. Her situation feels personal because I could see a scenario where Luz never asks out Amity. I had a crush when I was in my early teenage years and I never told her, and it still haunts me a little bit to this day. Romance has always been a struggle in my life and I never truly understood it. From a practical standpoint, I could see them being too nervous to confess to each other. To see Hootie set it up was actually a beautiful way to give Luz that push. The Tunnel of Love scene was great. I loved seeing Amity go through it and thinking that Luz set it up only to have it taken away from her, as it was heartbreaking to watch, but it was a good kind of heartbreaking. You could see it from both sides that they liked each other, but they were both embarrassed and nervous and had a lack of confidence in themselves. That felt incredibly real since I suffered through those same issues. To top it off with Hootie's comic relief during these emotional moments was incredible. It's like they're guiding you through the experience, but when you're getting caught up in the emotions, Hootie's there to get you to laugh. This episode brings the Owl House to an entirely different level of enjoyment that I've yet to experience until now. This video was a bit of an experiment. I didn't necessarily think I was going to make one based on a particular episode, but when the feels hit me this hard, I knew I had to share my thoughts. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know. Did you enjoy this episode as much as I did? To me, it was a flawless way to provide a confession, especially after such a long build-up. I can't think of any other show that handles this so well. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care, peace out, and I'll see y'all later.